Hi guys, and welcome to another video with Xander Freemaker. Today we're going to be talking about a video game that's coming out on September the 6th of 2023, created by Bethesda Games. The game is called Starfield. Now, I have never in my entire gaming life pre-ordered a game, but I have with this one. Why? Well, what this game offers, I don't think any other game is out there. I mean, there are games where you can, travel the universe, etc., etc. But this game is offering something totally unique. And I've been, since its announcement, its launch announcement, I think it was 21, 22, I've been watching video upon video. And every time I've been watching their videos, I've been getting goosebumps. And I'm just thinking, my God, this game could be something really special. This is like the game that everyone, like in the gaming world, has been looking for. An adventure game where you could go anywhere and, and explore. And literally this game does it. You can explore, not like 20 planets or 100 planets. There's over 1,000 planets, and every environment is different. And even if, let's say, you left, that one planet and returned to it, the same planet again, it's totally different. So, there is stuff in this game that, I'm going to talk about this game in no particular order, because there's so much happening in this game. I just get goosebumps every time I read about it or watch one of their videos. And even though, technically speaking, you don't have to pre-order it, but I did it anyway. Okay, so there are people out there saying that this game is rubbish. Well, no one's ever played it yet, and they're giving it, negative kind of reviews or whatever. I don't know. It just sounds like BS to me, personally. But, if Bethesda is saying that you can do this, you can do that, you can do whatever you want, that sounds pretty good. So I don't want to. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. That this game's going to be great. I'm not being paid to say this, but I think it's important. For all the content that they've created. For all the genres that you can actually play within this game and the freedom that you have. I mean, this is really what people are looking for. This is what game players want. It's not just for, the millennials or the Gen Z players. It's for everyone, so yeah, I know I'm excited about it, and I think everyone should be as well. It is the most anticipated game out there, and quite deservedly so. You can see the graphics, you can see the gameplay, and I think it's going to be great. But I'd rather go in with a positive outlook rather than a negative one. So yeah. So there, let's give this game a chance. It's less than a month away before its release, and this is the reason why I'm making this video. This game, I mean, from what I've seen and read, and my assumption, my assumption was that I think when the game starts, a lot of people will play it. There's no doubt about it. But of course, I think this game will eventually settle down to only, I won't say a small number of players, but definitely to those players who love long haul games. Games that will just go on and on and on, and the adventure doesn't stop. Just like, Star Citizen, for example. It takes a long time just to get, something done, and this game will require patience, no doubt about it in my mind. I mean, from what they're saying at Bethesda, I believe you're going to need patience, and there's a lot of people out there that don't have patience. I am one of those players that has patience, and I'm going to be playing it a lot when it's launched. And this game is not going to offer 40 hours of game entertainment or 100 hours of game entertainment. I think it's going to offer months upon months of game entertainment. And even then, I mean, who's going to explore, over 1,000 worlds in like 1 year? And I don't think anyone's, even if you play it every day, I don't think you're ever going to get that far, because there's just so much going on in this game. And let's talk about the game itself. What the game is about. Well, apparently, if I remember correctly at one of the videos, so I've got no script here, so I'm just working off my memory. So I believe that the planet Earth is now inhabitable, and now the human race has relocated itself to a place, and it's called New Atlantis. And your story kind of begins there, and you join a group called the Constellation, and then of course you start to explore. And the idea here is you explore each planet, and there is a mission, an overall mission. I think it's to look for these so-called relics, which are kind of magical. There's not a lot of information about it yet, but of course I think they're saving that for the game, and I think that's a good thing, because we don't want to know everything about it, the plot, the whole works. But the game itself offers basically a whole range of genres, not just from walking around on the planets in beautiful environments and exploring and collecting resources, but also, for example, if even if you're walking on like say an environment, and you look up into the sky and you see a planet. Now, that normally the first thing you think, is, oh, I'd like to go there. Well, in this game, you can. And that's what's so amazing about it. It's like everything you see, you can, get to it. Any planet. So that's a great thing. Also, every story that you play, like in the game, is different. So like, I've only been watching videos. No one's ever. I haven't even played this game yet, because it's not even out yet. I've just been watching the videos, online, and listening to the creators talk about it and how excited they are, and they should be. I mean, this game has taken 25 years, to get to this point. 25 years. I mean, Jesus Christ. This, like you hear about movies taking, like 30 years, 25, 30 years to complete its like trilogy. But this is just one game has just taken this long. Now, the style of game that they've gone with, and Bethesda has gone with their own kind of new style, and they call it NASA Punk. So basically, you have like kind of like modern technology, but not too so modern, but you still have a few buttons to press here and there. You know what I mean? It's quite it's interactive, and you're kind of immersed into into the game. So for example, they allow you to just pick up anything, and I mean anything, be it even animals, food, I mean, just the list goes on and on. I just, like I said, I'm not working off a script here. I'm just talking, off the cuff. In terms of the ships themselves, again, they've taken it to the next level. So, for example, not only do you get to fly your ship, but also you get to learn the dynamics of that ship as well. So for example, if you could allocate power, certain like power to say your shields when you go into combat, or power to your engine, so that you could like go for like a warp jump or something like that. And also, one of the things I think I loved about watching the videos is that you can actually build your ship. So you do get a ship at the beginning of the game, but you can actually expand on it, and it gets bigger and bigger, create more levels, or compartments in your ship, and you could end up with something crazy. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Like just building a ship. So you do get a crew, and then of course you can also hire more people. You can go to different planets, different You know, like you can trade. Oh my god, you know, the list goes on and on. I'm just trying to like, I've got so much in my head right now. It's just exploding. And one of the things I noticed, you know, like watching these videos, is like, you know, when I was watching it, I was just sitting there watching this, you know, all the videos. You can watch these on YouTube. And I said to myself, you know what, this is what Star Wars should have been. But hey, man, close but no cigar. You know, these guys have gone and done it. And I don't think there's going to be no other game out there that will actually even touch this game. I mean, that's how confident, how much I, you know, believe in this game. And also, I've also listened to the soundtrack of this game as well, and it's beautiful. You know, I'm actually, you know, when I'm making this video, I'm actually going to play it in the background, so you know you can just about hear it, because I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But basically, this game, you know, is going to sort of like change. You know, one of the fears I had about this game is that because I think the longevity of this game is like going to go on for a very, very long time, this is going to cause problems among relationships. That's what I think this game is going to do, because boys, you know, or men are going to be playing this game, I mean, for hours. So I don't know, you're going to have to come up with some kind of, you have to going to make sure, you know, that you don't get in trouble by your partners, because this game is going to immerse you into an adventure that, you know, unlike anything out there on the market. And honestly, I can't wait. So I'm already thinking, how the hell am I going to play this game and, you know, and enjoy it without pissing off my partner? Because I think this game is literally going to sort of like bring you, it's just going to suck you in, you know, like that scene out of you know, Tron the movie, you know, where the, you know, the kids, you know, like the guy's playing with the computer and then the machine sort of like sucks him in. Literally, I think that's how this game is going to work. It's going to just suck you in. Also, one of the things I want to talk about is there's this droid, and listen to, you know, watch it, and I've become, I kind of like it. You know, it's very likable. And, you know, it's not an annoying robot. So, you know, that's a character right there. In terms of missions, I think they're going to be thousands of missions, hundreds, if not thousands of missions. I mean, it's really going to be that intense, and the environments, the cities that they've built are just so detailed. It's, you know, it's amazing. I mean, that's the thing. You could actually, this game is like, there are parts in the game where you can just take in the scenery. I mean, the physics that they've used, like, you know, like in this game, and I heard, you know, when I was watching some of the videos, is actually, you know, even when the sun moves, you know, well, sorry, not the sun moves, but when the planet rotates, you know, the sun, it's actually, you know, done in real time. It is really that they've really, you know, gone above and beyond, you know, the Call of Duty here, you know, for this game. God, what else can I tell you? I mean, there are also loads of crazy factions out there, so there is going to be a lot of combat, and the combat side of this game is also brilliant. You know, I you know, when I was watching some of the videos, and they talked about the combat and the weapons, for example. Say, for example, the combat, the styles you could come up with. So, for example, if you like, you know, stealth mode, or hand-to-hand combat, or you know, or just fast, you know, like Call of Duty stuff. You know, just go in there with a machine gun and blow the crap out of everything. You get that as well, and I don't think this is going to be one of those games where you could just you know, just pick up a gun and yay, you charge in. No. This is a game, I think, where you're going to have to practice your skills and master them. It's not going to be, you know, like just a walk in the park. And one of the other things I noticed in watching some of the videos Bethesda had, you know, put up on YouTube, is that they used you know, a joypad, and I'm not a big fan of the Xbox joypad. So I believe that the PS5 joypad, because I'm a PlayStation player, the joypad will work, and that's probably the best joypad. So I've left a link in my in my description. So if you want to pick up the the PlayStation PS5 joypad to play this game, yeah, that was probably the best one. I've also left a link for the Xbox one, for you guys who are playing on PC. You can actually get that as well. But definitely the PS5, the Sony one is definitely, for me personally, is the best. So what else is there I can talk about? Yeah, the character. Again, character creation is another element here in this game, where I believe is so well made. I think you can choose between, I think it's about 40 characters, and you can play with them, put scars on your face, tattoos. It's really detailed, but apparently they say it's very user friendly as well. So you're not going to be, you're not going to die of boredom doing it. So they kept it as simple as possible. There's a lot of detail, so that you can actually create your own specific character. I don't know about its clothing and stuff or the suits, but definitely character-wise you can. And also, okay, so that's the character I've gone through. Okay, sorry, just bear with me for a second, mate, because I'm just trying to get my head straight here. But yeah, so you got the character. You can create the character that you want. Weapons. Now there are all types of weapons in this game. I mean, and they're all beautifully designed. But there was also one thing I forgot to mention, is that you can play in different perspectives as well. You can play first person perspective, second person perspective, and I think there's a third as well. So you've got a beautiful choice. So you're not limited to you're not fixed to this to just one perspective. And also another thing I think it's important to to mention is that this is a single player game. This is a single player role playing game, and this is just brilliant. So I am quite excited about it. I mean, Bethesda has made loads of games in the past, so they've got a lot of experience. If you remember Redfall, Hi-Fi Rush, and then of course Ghostwire, Death Loop, Prey. Of course, they made the Doom series since 2012 to present day, and of course there's loads of other games, like Fallout series, as well. They're responsible for that, so they've got a lot of experience. So we can expect, a lot of, like a lot of combat. I've got to go back a bit again. I want to talk about the environments a little bit more. The environments are, I've already said it, they're spectacular. Open environments, you can do anything, you can go anywhere. But also, each environment is different. So no one environment's the same. So the gravity might be a problem there. So gravity might not it might not be like Earth. So you could actually make some like huge leaps. So it almost feels like you're flying. And then all the creatures on that planet, every single one is different. Now I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm just going, like backwards and forwards, like, and talking because I'm just so excited about the game. Even talking about it is giving me goosebumps. This is how much this game, I believe will be that successful. And I'm going to be playing it every day. I'm going to be recording it. I'm going to sort of like post it on, on my, YouTube page, so for all to see. Whew! I can go on. Now, like I said, on each planet, you got different creatures as well. You can kill them. You could also use them for resources. This is something I don't know much about yet. But again, this whole game, is going to be a huge learning curve, and like I said, the weapon, the array of weapons that you have in this game is formidable, and also certain weapons that you use in certain environments will have an effect. So, for example, if you're, say, like, in gravity zero zone, so for example, and you're floating around, and you use, let's say, like a machine gun or something like that, right? It will, the effect of the power of the gun will actually throw you back because of gravity, because there's no gravity. Sorry. So again, you have to be, there's that learning curve. So you can use all kinds of weapons, the weapons that will actually suit that environment, and that's really amazing. So these guys have really, these guys at Bethesda have really thought everything out. They've really sort of like, they just sat there and say, what if we could do this, or what if we can do that? And of course, it's taken 25 years to get to this point. And the reason for that is, it's obvious. It's mainly technology. And now, because we're in an age where technology is pretty good. I mean, even the system that I'm running right now is an i9, and there are requirements. The requirements are, it's not a lot. I mean, the minimum they're saying is an i7 6800K, a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM. You need a NVIDIA 1070 Ti or an AMD RX 5700, and of course the DirectX storage is about 125 gigabytes, and SSD is required. So if you don't have those, and I've stuck this information in my description as well. So this is going to help you kind of like decide whether your system is good enough for the game or not. So that my system, fortunately, as I've only recently bought my system, it's an i9 chipset, and it's got all the bells and whistles. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So what else can we talk about? Because it's really important. Well, I think this is really clever. This is what they mentioned in their video, and I thought it was brilliant. When you create your crews, and you can hire crews, you could, I think Constellation becomes part of your crew as well. When they go off, when the mission is to go after these relics to save the human race, or something like that. But also, you can actually build relations. So your character might end up falling in love, with one of the characters or something like that, so that can happen as well. And I think I've already touched on exploring the worlds. The freedom that you get to explore the worlds is immense. I think the term they use is the freedom is on a galactic level, so that's the kind of freedom you've got. So you're not going to be restricted, or there's not going to be. Oh, I hope not, anyway. But that's what they're saying at Bethesda. Okay, so is there anything I could add? I mean, because this game, I think this is really important. It's bad news for one game console, but not the other. Now, I'm playing this game on the PC. But it's only also available on a console, but not the PlayStation 5. I don't think it ever will be.
Don't do this.
No.
Our fault?
This is because we were bad? We didn't fix it. Whose fault is it? Oh, fuck, I want to fucking know.
Sorry, but that...
So I'm guessing there are going to be a lot of disappointed people out there. Who don't have a PC, just the PlayStation 5. So anyway, moving on. It is on the Xbox. So, PlayStation gamers who want this game, won't be able to get it unless you've got a powerful PC, or you go out and buy an Xbox. So, but you could say, if you do play this game, you can play it with a PS5. I'm sure you can, because I used a PS5 game controller to play other games, PC games, on the PC. So yeah, and I'm hoping that when the game downloads and I play with my PlayStation 5 game controller, it will work perfect. So, and that's kind of like, I don't know, a little bit of poetic justice, if you want to call it that. It doesn't really matter, really. But other than that, I will be, like I said, creating a lot of content literally daily to play this game, and I'll be posting it on my YouTube channel for all to see. I mean, there are lots of videos out there on YouTube for you to go and have a look. And please do just go out and have a look. And if you do decide to buy, if you've got a PC, you decide to buy it, I think it's a good investment. I mean, I think there are two versions out. There's a deluxe version, and of course there's just a standard game. I went and purchased the deluxe version, which is about 85 quid, which is about, I don't know, in American dollars, I think that's 100 and something dollars or something like that. And of course, I think it's 60 quid or 60 quid, 70 quid, for the. I think it's 59 quid or something like that for this just a standard game, which is still pricey, but But anyway, well, I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe, because I've done this video because the game comes out on September 6th, and as soon as it comes out, it's going to download. I'm going to be probably at work, so when I come back in the evening, it's going to be up there ready for me to play, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to start recording, and you're going to see this game, in its full glory. So anyway, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I got goosebumps already. Of course, there's going to be lots of other content I'm going to be posting. I'm still continuing with loads of other adventure games. I'm only posting games that I love. I'm not just doing every game that comes out, that's it, do it because it's, no. I'm only doing games that I enjoy, and Starfield is going to be one of those games that is like a dream come true. It's one of those games that everybody wants. Anyone who loves space, this is the game that they've always wanted, and this game has done it, and I can't wait to start playing it and posting content on my channel. So until we meet again, ciao for now.